after he passed. So
Okay. Well, let's see. What's your next court setting? It's March 28th.
Judge, if
Let's
I may.
You may.
I wanted to, I guess, talk about that as well. I know he's set for pretrial on 3/28 and trial thereafter. However, as it currently stands, there was an evaluation regarding competency, and he was deemed incompetent. And as such, I cannot proceed with trial against him if he is incompetent. So I was curious if perhaps there needed to be a modified DCO until we have more information or until he's had his competency restored, because at this time we can't really proceed with prosecution on this case.
Well, we'll potentially modify the DCO. We'll talk about it at the pretrial conference on 3/28.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
328, Your Honor?
March 28th. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trent, you're free to go. Make sure you get home.
Okay, thank you. Do I get a piece of paper?
No, you had a piece of paper, and so I was trying to explain to your sir.
Okay.
Judge, we lost Stephanie.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe
Yeah, you're free to
Good
go.
day.
See if I can get my court reporter back.
All right.
Can you tell me at what time at March 28th?
9 a.m.
At what time?
9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah, keep checking on Cardenas.
I have him.
Once he pops in, he's the absolute next one.
Okay.
Mr. Murphy. Murphy, can you hear me? Mr. Murphy. Sarah, chat with him and tell him to connect his audio. All right, we're on the record in 19 CCR 213609, State of Texas versus Don Murphy. Mr. Rajarnian, can you give me an update on the case?
Yes, Judge. Good afternoon. We are still missing the surveillance from the case. So discovery is not complete.
State?
Yes, Judge, the state has requested surveillance from the police agency. Hopefully they still have it in retention. This is a 2019 case. It was requested long ago whenever the case first came about. However, I don't see any record of us receiving it, so I've gone ahead and re-requested it. So pending that, it'll affect how we potentially resolve this case.
March 28th, pre-trial.
Yes, Judge.
Let's get it wrapped up before then. All right, Mr. Rajarnian, thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Gary, please turn your video on. All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 230056, State of Texas versus Raul Aguirre. Mr. Lopez, if you give the court an update.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Judge, there's a felony that's attached to this case that we're trying to work out. And based on what happens there, I believe the state will dismiss this case.
When's the
They're
next
out of
felony?
That is,
On the felony?
yes, sir. Let me check.
Next status is 229, Judge, for the felony.
Should it will it resolve itself by then?
All right, let me hold a second.
Mr. Lopez, do you believe it will resolve itself on the 29th?
Yes. Well, I believe that we'll have an idea of how it will be resolved. Whether it gets resolved on that particular day, I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think this case will be anything that goes to trial. The defendant was applying for C's court, SEA. That's a new drug program that they have, and we have submitted a mitigation packet. So we're working towards that end. At some point.
Mr.
for
Lopez, you're
sure.
breaking up. On
My
my end.
apologies. We're trying to get him to drug court, Judge.
Okay. Well, I'm not moving the dates for now. March 28th, pretrial. April 4th is going to be jury trial on this case. Hopefully the felony can get resolved before those dates.
I think it will, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. You and your
Judge,
client are free to
I
go.
have something to say. He needs to go over to the office today and submit to his drug test. You missed your random drug test yesterday.
I already did it. You can ask my officer right now. Yeah.
Okay, you went. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's knock out the next case, which is Palma Lavalos right, Mr. Cardenas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
All right. We're on the record in 18 CCR 206019, State of Texas versus Jose Palma Lavalos. Ms. Pizzurro, if you'd raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly and accurately translate from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English to help you God. Oh, I didn't hear you. Oh, your audio is not connected.
I do.
There we go. All right. Mr. Cardenas, we have an interpreter here, so please pause every couple sentences. And when I pass it over to you, if you would pause before you begin speaking to allow her to interpret.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Pizzurro, if you want to interpret that.
Señor Cárdenas, estamos trabajando con un intérprete, así que le voy a pedir que si es que puede hacer pausas cuando esté dando sus oraciones y después de que yo les haga preguntas, también tome pausas, por favor, para permitirle al intérprete que interprete.
Okay, Mr. Cardenas, if you would give the court an update.
Señor
Yes, Your Honor.
Cárdenas, si es que podría darle una actualización a la sala.
I've been in communication with my client,
He estado en comunicación con mi cliente
and I've been in communication with the district attorney in this case.
y he estado en comunicación con el fiscal de este caso.
The district attorney has given me an offer in this case.
El fiscal me ha dado una oferta para este caso.
I have responded to that offer,
He respondido a esa oferta
and I also have to get an immigration consult completed before the next setting.
y también tengo que completar o terminar una consulta migratoria antes de la siguiente audiencia.
That is where we are in this case.
Ese es el punto en el que nos encontramos en este caso.
All right, Mr. Cardenas, your next setting is March 28th at 9 a.m. So that immigration consult, I would suggest you try to get it done quickly.
Muy bien, señor Cárdenas, su próxima audiencia va a ser el 28 de marzo a las 9 de la mañana, así que le sugiero que esa consulta migratoria se realice rápidamente.
If you're court appointed, you may use the Public Defender's Office immigration attorney.
Si es que usted es un abogado de oficio, le sugiero que puede usar la oficina de la Defensoría Pública para con el abogado de migración ahí.
I think a second ago it dropped a little bit, but I think I will be doing that.
Creo que se cortó la comunicación hace un segundo, pero sí, creo que voy a hacer eso.
Okay. Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Muy bien, gracias por la actualización. Usted y su cliente ya se pueden retirar.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, señoría.
Ms.
May I
Pizzurro,
be
thank you.
excused?
Yes.
Thank you,
may.
Your Honor.
Hello?
Mr. Brown, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. I'm just getting off work right now.
Okay. Are you parked or are you driving?
I'm driving right now. I can park if you'd like.
You need to park. I'll come back to you.
Yes, sir. Give me about 2 minutes.
Go to the next case, please.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
All right, we're on the record in 21 CCR 220880, State of Texas versus Dennis Patterson. Grace, if you'd give the court an update, please.
Well, Your Honor, yesterday I spoke with the prosecutor and we are still negotiating I've got the discovery response yesterday, and I was able to speak with my clients. So at this point in time, we're still negotiating.
Okay.
And I believe that we probably will reach an agreement, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, if you reach an agreement for your next court setting on March 28th, you may contact Sarah, my coordinator, and get a plea date.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
I appreciate the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's move to Walker. Mr. Walker, can you hear me? All right, we're on the record. 23 CCR 232196, State of Texas versus Willie J. Walker III. Mr. Segura, if you give the court an update.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Walker has two cases. The first is an older assault case. I am not actually representing him on that one yet. I see that the court does have me listed, but I've not executed any documents in that regard. But he is in the process of hiring me. As far as the DWI case goes, I received a message from Ms. Chapa today. She'll be sending me an offer. And we'll also be preparing a mitigation packet.
Okay. He will be hiring you on the assault case, though?
He indicates he's working, taking steps in that regard, yes.
Okay. All right, I'll make note of that. Thank you for the update, Mr. Segura. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Go to Portillo. All right, we're on the record in 22 CCR 230209, State of Texas versus Jose Portillo. Mr. Peebles, if you'd give the court an update.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Since the last status conference, the DA's office has provided some body cam footage that we didn't have before. We have reviewed that. Miss Chapa was trying to contact the complainant to talk with her. I understand that that conversation took place late yesterday afternoon, so I'm awaiting some notes or a transcription of that conversation. I also understand that the complainant at something like 3 a.m. this morning provided new evidence to Miss Chapa that she's working on getting to me, but it's not in a format that can be emailed. So I need to arrange, I guess, to have someone go down to Fort Bend and pick that up. And I think that is the nature of that evidence. Judge, to put this in perspective a little bit, my client was married, or is technically still married, to the complainant. He learned that she was having an affair with a coworker, and they were having lunch that day. He picked her up from work, and she claims that they got into an argument and he headbutted her in the car as they were driving. It's my understanding. That car has a recording device or a recording feature inside of it. And the nature of the new evidence is the actual recording that took place inside the car. So you can see how that's very critical to the case. And it's absolutely critical that I review that and go over it with my client. So that's kind of what we're waiting.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all have got a little bit of time. Next status docket is 418. Thank you for the update, Mr. Peebles. You and your client are free to go.
Can I just have 1 second, Judge?
Sure.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. All right. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Very good.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 234252, State of Texas versus Robert Taylor. Mr. Doggett, if you give the court an update on the case.
I talked to the prosecutor this morning or earlier today, and she indicated that before she could send me an offer, she needed to talk to the complainant, and I'm going to get her some mitigation materials as well. And then we're going to discuss further.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the update. Your next court setting is April 18th at 2:30 p.m. It's another status via Zoom.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
I don't see this client yet.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Rivera, you there? Mr. Rivera.
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
All right. Your client is not in the Zoom waiting room.
No, he's not. He doesn't have capacity to get on. I've got him on speakerphone. I've talked to him. I don't have him now. I've talked to him. He speaks Spanish. I've tried to get him on, but he knows. I've talked to him today.
We'll come back to you, Mr. Rivera. Let's go to the next case on the docket. Breckmeyer. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 233894, State of Texas versus Michael Alexander Berkemeyer. Miss Parker, would you give the court an update?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Berkemeyer is currently at Costa Bend ISF, where he was sentenced to go there after being released from drug court regarding the new charges. And that's why we've been requesting that he have remote or virtual settings. At this time, we have the evidence that we need to move forward. We just need probably some time for him to finish his treatment there or the time that he's got there to be able to come and actually plead to the case. And then we will be able to, I think, going through with the scheduling order that is on file would be sufficient time.
When's he going to be released?
Mr. Burkmeyer, do you have that information on when your release date is?
Yes, ma'am. So I should be getting out in about 8 to 9 weeks.
Okay. Next setting is April 18th. That's via Zoom as well. It's at 2:30 p.m. Of course, once you get the agreement solidified and you're ready to set it for a plea, contact Ms. Toller and she can give you a plea date.
Okay, we'll do that, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Let's go to Caballero.
I don't see either attorney or defendant.
From my understanding, Judge, I believe this defendant is in retail theft diversion program. Their end date is 2/14.
Okay. Smith.
Judge, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, turn your video on, please. Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, if you could turn your video on, please.
That's interesting.
Mr. Smith, can you hear me? Mr. Smith, can you hear me? Frank, we'll come back to you.
I'm calling him right now.
All right. All right, Mr. Vins is next. On Moore.
I don't see him. I see Mr. Moore, but I don't see Mr. Lindsay.
All right, how about Nguolo? All right, we're on the record. Or Mr. Fapunda, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're on the record in 23 CCR 234707, State of Texas versus Muiwa Fapunda. Mr. Nugola, if you give the court an update.
Yes, Your Honor, we've received all the pertinent evidence, save anything that the state may have to offer at this time. It is our position that we are still announcing ready for trial.
Okay. Well, you have one more status hearing, April 18th at 2:30. Otherwise, your pretrial date is August 15th with trial on September 3rd.
Okay. Well, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you and your client are free to go.
Okay.
Mr. Venza just appeared. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 233126, State of Texas versus Christopher Moore. Mr. Venza, if you give the court an update, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that the state is waiting to make an offer on the case pending the resolution of a felony case out of the same transaction.
Okay. All right, well, we've got some time, hopefully, to get this felony and everything figured out. Next court setting is 4/18 for a status at 2:30. Has the felony been resolved?
It's still pending, Judge.
Still pending. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we get it all figured out before his trial date on August 20th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You do the same.
Okay, I spoke to him, Your Honor. He should be on now. Well, there he is again.
Mr. Smith, if you would start your video, please. There we go. All right, we're on the record in 23 CCR 233-989, 990, and 991. Mr. Yavarino, if you would give the court an update on these cases.
We got everything we need to start assessing or working on a compromise on this case. So that's we're gonna be in conversations here next to try to figure it out.
All right, well, you've got some time. April 18th is your next setting. That's a 2:30 p.m. docket status via Zoom. If you come to a resolution, you know the drill, Mr. Yavarino. Contact Ms. Toller, and she'll give you a plea date.
We will. Thank you, Honor. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Mr. Rivera. All right, Mr. Rivera.
Yes, sir.
So, couple things, statements that you made earlier. Number one, if your client doesn't have the capabilities to zoom in, I need him to appear in person. I have the technology set up in the courthouse to allow him to participate in this Zoom hearing. Secondly, you made the comment that he's a Spanish speaker. I need you to fill out the order, the form, requesting an interpreter in this case for every docket setting. He has to have an interpreter by law at every docket setting. So we are unable, because there is no interpreter available right now, we are unable to conduct this status hearing. Well, I am passing the status hearing for today. I will see you at the next status date on 4/18 at 2:30 p.m. And please fill out the form at least 72 hours in advance to have a Spanish interpreter present.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Do we need a Spanish interpreter if there's no hearing to be had? He's in agreement with everything. We'd
Yes.
like to set this for trial. I'm not being difficult. I just
No,
needed
no.
to clarify it.
Yeah, every time he appears in court, he has to have an interpreter, no matter what's going on.
Yes, sir.
And he's already set for trial on September 3rd.
Yes, sir. And we'll be ready to go.
Okay. All right. Next court setting is April 18th at 2:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Why is Mr. Venza, Mr. Ryan, or Rivera still in the waiting room? Will you message them?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brown, are we stopped?
Yes,
No,
sir. I'm
still
turning in right
moving.
now. I'm turning in right now. I'm turning into my parking spot right now. I have to leave the gas station out. Park right now.
All right. We're on the record in 23 CCR 231672, State of Texas versus Paul Brown. Mr. Brown, normally at this setting, I asked for an update on the case. Have you had a chance to speak with the DA's office?
Yes, sir.
And do you have all your discovery?
We went over the discovery in her office. I didn't get copies of it, and I've been sending it. I'm getting ready to send an email out to her as well, just so I have physical copies of everything for my own personal records. But we had an opportunity to speak, and I believe that we came to an agreement. There is as far as my working situation is concerned, I now am a traveling sheet metal mechanic. So it may affect what we had, our original agreement kind of thing, what we had kind of spoke about as our agreement. So I'm going to try and reach out to Ms. Chapa to see if we could maybe discuss. Sorry about that. My is going on. To see if we could maybe discuss not even an alternative option, but just a difference on some of the stipulations, some of the finer points of the agreement that we had spoke about.
So have you all reached a plea? You've reached a plea agreement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we've come to
we
pretty
need a
much
plea date for this matter.
Yes, we do. I'd like to plead in our sorry, 1 second, sir. When I spoke with Ms. Chapa,
I'm sorry,
when I
Judge?
spoke with
February 6th at 9 a.m. That's your plea date.
February. Me and Ms. Chapman spoke about doing our plea in the April hearing because we had a hearing already set for April.
That's a Zoom hearing. You can't do that plea during that date. You've got to set it before then.
Okay. Okay. Can I have a week or so to get with Ms. Chapman to discuss? Like I said, it's just my job is going to be taking me in and out of the state, and I won't be staying here for more than maybe like 2-3 days at a time on weekends while I'm here, because that's the only time I have off work. So I just wanted to discuss with her to make sure that I don't need to give up my job to be able to work our plea deal.
All right, Mr. Brown, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this for a plea. And if it doesn't work out to where you can plea on that date, I'll see you at the
Okay.
Zoom hearing in April. Okay?
Okay, all right, that works fine.
But
That
I'm gonna
works
give
fine.
you a date of, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time. February
Okay.
20th, 9 a.m.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And that's in person in the courthouse, correct?
That is in person in the courthouse.
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
All right, very good. You're
All
free
right.
to
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Have
Judge,
you
I
heard back from them?
No, I think they just closed their computers.
Okay. Well, that concludes our docket. There's nothing left. Other than, do I have that dismissal on Santos? Have I signed it or
It's in your email.
it's in my email? Okay, very good. All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.